live, aren't we? I think we're live. Are we live? Are we live? We are live. How's it going, beautiful people? My name is Jose Trujillo. I am the world's greatest living artist. For those of you who don't know who I am. Getting some papers moving here. I was at breakfast earlier with some beautiful people, some good friends, and now I'm here. I was having breakfast with my family and some friends, like family, and now we're at the studio because that's what it is, right? So. I want to first apologize that I didn't do a morning session today, a morning live session, which is something that I normally do, so I want to apologize for that. What is it called? My hammer time. There is no excuse for that. It's my fault, so I apologize. But, moving on. Working on getting some new stuff. How's it going? Good to see you guys. Good to see you, beautiful people. Say hi. Getting some paper ready. Here's a little thing I want to remind you guys out there, all you artists, all you awesome artists. Look, guys. This is the way I look at it. Okay? This is the way I look at it. Do yourself 100. Don't do one drawing. What the hell is one drawing gonna do? It's a thing. It's little thing. It's little thing. It happens a lot with artists. We're not Raphael or Michelangelo. One drawing, at best, you do one drawing, you post it on social media. You hope to go viral or some shit like that. At best, we'll give you satisfaction, personal satisfaction. Many times it doesn't even do that. You know, at best, it will give you personal satisfaction. One drawing is not gonna make it. It's not gonna help you sell your stuff. It's not enough. It's not enough. One painting, one drawing, one of anything. As I said before, one is the lowest number. So when I paint or when I'm going to draw something, I do multiple things, you know? And I don't repeat the same thing. Here's another thing that a lot of artists do. They tend to repeat the same thing. I think the part of the thing is that we are accustomed or socialized to believe that we have to do what a lot of the artists back in the day were doing. Which is create a masterpiece or repeat a bunch of work that is the same, sort of like the art series section, or I don't know, Andy Warhol's Marlin, right? Repeat. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're able to if that's how you create work. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing is that many of us, that's not how we create work. And we're trying to look for how can I be productive, but we don't have the imagination or the creativity to be productive. Look, it's the wrong question. I hope someone is understanding what I'm trying to say. It's the wrong question. The right question is not how can I be productive. The right thing to do is to just be productive. That's the right thing to do. Let me say hi to my friends. Hello. The right thing, the right approach is to just be productive. If you're an artist and you're thinking about, man, I don't know what to paint, the reason why you're thinking that is because you're not painting. It's the only reason. If you're an artist and you're going to draw something, you're like, man, I don't know what to draw. Fear no more. The only reason you're thinking that is because you're not drawing. I know it sounds stupid, right? Like for me to say that. And why? Because when you do things, it's like magic happens, and you get ignited to doing more things, and to get bigger, and to do other things that you weren't even thinking about it from the beginning. They were not even possible. You know why they were possible? Because things don't come from your imagination. Things come through doing. Through doing. It's as I said before, is existence comes from the word to exit, out, right? It's from doing, outflow. When you think, it's not coming out. When you think, you're being an introvert. You're sucking in energy. When you think too much, you sit there and you start thinking about what you're going to paint, you're doing it wrong. Here's what I recommend for people to do when you don't know what to do. When you don't know what to do, here's what I recommend. Get yourself a paper pad or whatever, some paper, some artist paper, some canvases, whatever, right? Especially with paper, because with paper, there's not much fear of ruining anything. Get yourself some paper. It doesn't have to be high-end paper. Just get some paper. And start drawing. And then get some acrylic paints and start painting. And start, just do something. Don't think about it. Act as if you're going to get it and you're just going to throw it away. Act like that. Get it and throw it away. Get it and throw it away. This is where the juice comes from. This is where the magic comes from. If you act as if you just get it and you're like, you know what? I'm going to throw this shit away. I'm going to paint on it. I don't know. What can I do? What can I do? Oh, let me see. What can I do? What could I do here? Oh, let's see. Because I'm going to throw this shit away anyways. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything, When you start going like this, you're like, oh man, I think I'm going to throw this thing away. But wait, why am I thinking about throwing this away? Why am I thinking about throwing this away? Well, I'm going to throw it away regardless of it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. And that's when the creative juice starts happening. I am not saying that everything you're going to do is gold. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that that's where the creative juice starts. And then in the doing, you start hitting some of them out of the park. And then you start remembering. That's the most important part of being an artist, because we forget what we're supposed to do. We forget. So then you start remembering. You're like, oh man, I remember now why I like doing that. Or I remember what this thing was. Or I remember about a painting that I had an idea that I forgot about. Oh my God, how could I have forgotten about this idea? The reason why you forgot it is because you weren't doing it. So you're like, oh, okay, well, who's this guy? Maybe this guy's Don Quixote. Don Quixote. And maybe you start out with an idea like this and you're like, well, what does that even mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. If you come from a none of it matters, then you start getting ideas. You're like, man, I wonder if I could do something like this in a large canvas. That it looks just like a drawing. This shit just came to me right now. It just came to me right now. What if I could do that? Can I get away with it? Well, yeah, because I'm an artist. I can get away with it whatever I want. The problem is that we don't do enough. That's the problem. We're not doers. Anyone that is having problems or challenges with getting to the next level, it's not because of your lack of intelligence or your lack of creativity or your lack of anything. It is because you're not doing enough. It is doing. I can't stress this enough. It's the power of all powers. That's why Picasso said the foundational key to success, he said, is action. He didn't say the foundational key. He was talking about being an artist. Of course, he wasn't talking about being but it applies everywhere, right? Because he was an artist. He was talking from an artist point. But it applies to anything, whatever you do, whether you work construction or people say that's not right. That's not how it works in my industry. It works in all industries because that is the one trait all winners have. They're doers. They're not thinkers. They're doers. All winners, all heroes, just watch any hero movie. They shoot before they point. Why? They do the thing first, and then they figure out how to make it better. So if you find yourself in a place where you're like, man, I don't know what to do, you know, you're not doing enough. That's why you don't know what to do. What if right now it just came to me? Oh man, look, I did this drawing. I did this sketch, this loose sketch of Don Quixote on a horse. Right? What if I do that in a big canvas? It just came to me right now. Oh my God, okay. If I don't move on it right now, if I don't move on it, the idea is gone. The idea is gone. If I don't move on it right now, the idea is gone. That is why things don't happen, because we don't jump on them right now. We don't jump on the horse and start riding it. We sit there. We have an idea and we're like, well, yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, well, I guess I'll do it tomorrow. But that's not how life works. That's not how life works. The only way that life works is that if you jump on things right now, not tomorrow, not 10 days later, right now. That is why it becomes difficult for many artists to do anything. You know, that's the reason why it becomes so difficult for any of us to do anything, because we don't jump on it. I'm going to bring you over here to one of my canvases. I'm going to explain to you what I'm talking about by doing. Because if I don't explain to you what I'm talking about by doing, it means shit. It means nothing. It says empty words. Okay? So I have a canvas right there. I don't know what it measures. If I start thinking about it, I will not do it. So I'm going to put my drawing right here, right? And I'm going to start doing it. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is the shit that will make you or break you as an artist. You think too much. You wait too much. You wait too much. And it's the waiting that has held you hostage. The waiting holds everybody hostage. Not just you. It holds everyone hostage. The waiting is the killer of all good things in life. If I don't show you what I'm talking about, it would just be empty words, and people won't believe what I'm trying to talk about, what I'm trying to say. There we go. Something like that. I have a problem about ordering canvas, big format. I don't have a problem with it. Go to Blake Art Supplies. I hope people from Blake are watching me and listening every time I talk about their service. They have great products there for artists, especially if you're starting out. If you want a little bit more professional ones, you're going to have to do some search on more professional means more expensive. It doesn't always necessarily mean better quality products. Sometimes it does, not always. You see? So, bear with me, look at it. Then, so many people get caught up on the idea of I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do next. Look, guys, you're never gonna have it right. As a matter of fact, you should never have it right. If you have it right, it means you waited too long. If you have it right, it means you waited too long. If your artwork came out right, just look at any of the artists when they're working in the studio. Not the artists working today. They show nothing. They never show. They only show those stupid videos where they're like painting really fast and they don't really show you that they're working artists. I'm talking about, look at the artists that like Picasso, like, look at those cats. Those are the artists I'm talking about. Look at those cats, like Picasso and Willem de Kooning, Andy Warhol. They were working machines. There's a lot of buttholes today that are pretending to be artists, but all they do is do a painting a year and never really do enough work. So because they never do enough work, they never really got good enough. They're perfectionists. They're concerned with looking good in front of a camera. They're concerned with shit that has nothing to do with being an artist. They're concerned with minutia. So we never, as artists, we never really learn, right? We never really learn from artists like that. It's impossible to learn from an artist who doesn't work. It's impossible. It's very difficult to learn from an artist who doesn't work. Let's get this a little bit closer. They don't show you what's going on, and I think that's part of the problem. I coach artists today, and a lot of artists tell me, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. And quite frankly, I come to understand this because there's very few people, if any, really showing you the creative process. Most people are just showing you some bullshit video on Instagram or of they don't jump to it, you know. They don't jump to it. They're not showing you the work itself. They're showing you something else, and I think we get bad information. As artists, we start thinking, oh, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Being an artist is this extremely difficult thing. I'm coming, guys. Just gonna get some paint and some brush right here and some paint. And some rags. We need some rags. Where are those rags? So in my estimation, or why things don't work a lot for artists, is because there is not really enough information as to how to be an artist. There's hardly any information on it. It's lost, you know? It's lost. Everybody's trying to be too perfect. I'm not talking about realism or hyper-realism. I'm not talking about that. So don't get it confused. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a great way of painting. Everybody does things different. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is everybody's trying to do things right. They're waiting. And waiting is exactly the problem that happens. Look. A lot of artists don't take the time to look. It's unbelievable to me how so many artists don't take the time to go look at videos that we have, actual fucking film that we have of Willem de Kooning painting, Picasso painting. I think we have some of Matisse painting, if I'm not mistaken. Like titans of the world. We actually have videos of them. And it baffles me how much artists, people that are not artists, watch that. They tend to watch that. And actual artists don't watch it. And it always baffles me. I'm like, dude, you're an artist and you're not watching that. Constantly looking at it. It's like if you're fucking Michael Phelps and you're not looking at videos of the best swimmers beforehand. You have to. In order to see what it took, not to try to understand the technique, although that's very important, but to try to see what it took. What was happening during the painting sessions? You know, what was happening? What was going on? What was the artist thinking? Because you learn a lot from watching the artist paint. You learn a lot that the artist, regardless of what artist he or she is, they, them, or they or them, you learn a lot from the creative process. But it baffles me how much artists don't pay attention to that. I'm like, you've been an artist your whole life, and you've never seen a video of a living master painting, like or a dead master that we have videos of these people. You've never seen a video of this person painting. It's crazy, and we don't. This is not to simplify painting in any way. But this is to remind artists out there, look, the only reason things aren't working is because you're not working. I know, because this is the kind of stuff that happens to me. When I coach artists, I realize in a lot of them, if things aren't working, it's because the effort is very minimal. There's very little effort. Come here. Say hi to people in the camera. Come here. There's only one way that things will work for you guys. If you're an artist, there's only one way things will work. If you work. If you work, things will work. If you don't work, it's not going to work. We're all afraid of working. I don't blame you. I understand why. We're trying to decipher the ROI. We're trying to decipher the return on our investment. If I put 2 hours, what is the painting going to look like? Fuck that. Just put the 2 hours. Don't worry about what the painting is going to look like. The painting is going to look like what it's supposed to look. It cannot look better or worse than how I draw. Can you guys see this? It cannot look better or worse than this. Because this is as good as I am. This right here is as good as I am. So if I blow it up, it will show as good as I am in a quick method, right? In a loose brush method. If I sit there and I look at it, I'll make it look hyper-realistic. But that is not my jam. My jam is painting in a fast way. Right? That's how I paint. So if we don't focus on just creating artwork, we're always going to feel that need to please our minds first. And that's the death of every artist. Every artist dies by that cross or by that instrument, the waiting instrument. Every artist that I've spoken to, that things haven't worked for him or her, every artist that I've spoken to, is because they're waiting. They're waiting on, I gotta wait on canvas. I gotta wait on the studio. The gallery hasn't said yes. The gallery hasn't agreed to it. I don't have creativity right now. Or I have too much creativity, but I don't have time. That's another bullshit. I have a lot of creativity, but I don't have time. That's not true. You have a lot of ideas. That doesn't mean you have creativity. If you have creativity, you would figure out to have time as well. Creativity and time go together. They go hand in hand. I know a lot of artists out there don't agree with this, but I've heard over and over and over from artists that say, oh man, how do you have so much time to do it? There's always more time than anything else. You just gotta jump to it. You have to want to do it. You have to want to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. 90% of the time when I'm painting, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm not supposed to know. I'm not supposed to know. If I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't be creating art. I would be I don't know, fucking accountant or nothing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm not. I'm an artist. Ninety % of the time, I have no freaking idea what I'm doing, and I like it that way. Not some sped up video where I'm going to show you some bullshit. I want to be able to stress it enough. Look, guys, the only reason things don't work is because we don't work. There is no right way of doing anything. There's only do or don't do. Everything else, we're just sitting on the fence. And if I wasn't painting on this big canvas, I would have been doing 100 of these, different ones. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. It's my belief that this is how a lot of great artists out there work. They don't think about it. I know, because the only times that I'm doing something right is when I'm working like this. It's not when I sit there, think about it, procrastinate, and then hope that something great is going to happen. Nothing great gonna happen by sitting there and waiting, guys. You know that. You don't need me to tell you that. Oh yeah. Get some more. There's always one common denominator. Always one. In artists that do something and artists that don't. There's always one. They're either true to doing or true to not doing, but they're always true to something. There it is. I will save this live, absolutely. I will absolutely save this live. No reference photo, because people keep talking to me about, I need reference photo, I need reference. You don't need no fucking reference photo. You just need to draw something. Just draw something. Draw something, and then boom. Jump it onto something bigger, or jump it onto a painting. Now, I'm not saying don't use reference photos. Use them. Use them. What I'm trying to stress is you don't need. You do not need I use reference photos. I use reference drawings. Sometimes when I have no idea what I'm going to do, I'll look at a Peter Paul Rubens painting, and I'll look at it, and be like, oh, okay, oh, all right. Let me try to do something like Peter Paul Rubens. Let me try to do something, right? In my own style, with my own characters, with my own vision. I'm not saying don't use them. I'm saying you don't need it. If you need it, you will always depend on it, and thus never really become the artist that you're supposed to become. Your greatness as an artist is just awaiting for you, but you're waiting. You're waiting too much. You keep waiting and waiting as if something is going to start just happening for you by itself, but it is not. It is not. It's not going to start happening. Your greatness as an artist is waiting. It's knocking on the door. It's like, keeps knocking on the door. Come out and play. Come out and play. But we won't do it because we wait. If I look at it, I'm going to hate it. This is another little lesson right there. If I look at it long enough, I'm going to hate it. It is natural for the human being to do that. This is why I don't recommend staring at your paintings. I know a lot of people are like, well, stare at it and then do this and then do that. And I say, no, don't do that. Don't stare at it. You're going to start hating it. Think about any relationship. When you started a relationship, it was the most beautiful thing. If you stare at it long enough, start thinking about problems, start thinking, see, when you look at something long enough, you start looking at what doesn't fit, what doesn't feel right. You start looking at what doesn't feel right. And that is the killer of every relationship, including the relationship you have with your artwork. If you look at it long enough, you're going to start coming out with reasons as to why it's not perfect enough. This is why artists say, I started painting, but it can never be finished. Your mind can never be finished. The painting can be finished. It's your mind that can never be finished. Your mind has no end. You know, if you give it enough time, you're going to start thinking about it. If you give it enough time, you're going to start thinking about it. There it is. Tired of this anyways. Let's do a close-up. Those of you who, non-believers that have never seen me do this work. There it is. There's my black and white. I was doing that. I thought about it in a split of a second. It'd be so awesome if I blow it up into a large format. There it is. And I did it. And that's what you want to do. That's what you want to practice on. That's what you want to practice. You want to practice not what I'm doing. Everybody paints different. What I'm saying that you want to practice is you want to practice on jumping to it. You do the drawing, an idea comes, boom, jump, like Nike, just do it. And then the painting comes out. How long did this take me? I don't know. It might take you 2 hours. It might take you 1 hour. It might take you I don't know, a day, whatever it takes you. That's not the important thing. The important thing is that you build a muscle to do things like that. In your style, in your way of painting, whatever you do, whatever you do, right? Because we all do different things. No matter if we try to do the same thing, we're gonna do it differently. Painted Sage Studio says, so it is finished, there will go on back with color. I have no idea. It did take me years to do it, Jolly. You're right. It took me over 20 years to do it. To do it in this short period of time. I don't know if it's going to do color. I don't think so. I think it's going to stay like this. I don't have I don't feel inspired to do color on it. Yeah, I do preparation on my canvas, Ricardo. You're right. All of the canvas that I have, they're ready to paint on. As soon as I bring them to the studio, right? If they're on my walls, it's to grab them and start doing something, just like I did here. They'll have 2 to 3 layers of primer. I don't like to do one thick layer. I like to do 2 or 3 layers. It's just that it's the way I like it. Not very thin layers, but somewhat thin, so that it's easy on the arm to whoever's doing it. Yeah. Just like this painting. This painting was easy on my arm. It wasn't difficult, right? Because it's not heavily layered. This is this ideas I got it from Picasso and Cézanne. Cézanne painted very thin, very thin. Especially his large format works were very thin, very translucent, right? And you could see the canvas behind it. And I used to be like, oh man, like I wonder what the reason is for that. When I was younger, as I got older and as I started painting every day, I realized why the bastard did it. You know, he did it because it was easy on the arm. You're able to create long, big format works without tiring yourself heavily. It's one of the reasons why I believe that Peter Paul Rubens and all the other guys used to paint very thin. If you see their painting is very loose, very precise, but very loose and thin. Different layers. And I believe the reason for that, a lot of gesso, very like heavy gesso. They used to do that. Many layers of gesso or heavy gesso. And I think the reason they used to do this is because there were production studios, like mine, right? They were production studios. So, anyways, just wanted to show you a little bit of that. Hopefully, you guys got some idea from this. Hopefully, you guys got some idea as to the type of deal that I do here. I need to work on some other stuff over here. Did I show you guys the woodcuts? I did, huh? I need to work on some woodcuts today. Anyways, guys, there's some of a little bit of the inventory that I've brought in so far. This is a little tripod I use. That's my wife. When we met, I painted her. I got away with that. This is another painting. This is gonna be studio. This is gonna be gallery space right here. This is all gonna be gallery space. I gotta change that. Need some drywall there. There's a little loft over there. That's where I'm gonna be recording my podcasts. Up there, little loft area. There's a little kitchen right there. All right, guys. Well, I'm so glad that you guys were able to kick it with me. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you guys soon again. All right? Take care. And just do it, guys. Just do it. Don't wait for it. If I could say anything, just don't wait for it. Just do it. The waiting part is the killer. I know you're not supposed to show like nudes on Instagram, but here I am showing nudes on Instagram. Thank you so much, Jolly. Look, I did this painting thinking about when I was a kid. When I was a kid in Mexico, we used to catch birds. That was my hobby, was to go out and catch birds, little finches. They're very difficult to catch. So I did this painting remembering me as a 9-year-old. I know maybe this little kid's more than 9 years old, but remembering me when I was catching birds. Oh, there's a funny guy. I think this was supposed to be a commission. I think I need to send this somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. I think this was a commission. This needs to ship out somewhere. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys kicking it with me, hanging out. If you guys have any questions, please DM me. If you guys want to check out what I do, just hang out with me daily here. Look, these are my art supplies. Thank you so much, Ricardo. I appreciate that. Ricardo says, what a great inspiration you are. Thank you. These are my art supplies. A piece of cardboard. Some black acrylic paint. Some white acrylic, and I think this is acrylic and house paint, if I'm not mistaken. Water. $1 brushes. Spackle thing. It's not the supplies, guys. I know everybody gets caught up in that. It's the effort. I used to think it was the supplies. I used to buy like very expensive brushes, very expensive canvases, very expensive everything when I started. I used to spend all of my income in that. Until one day it just hit me. I'm not saying to loosen the quality of it. That's not what I'm saying, you know? I'm not saying that. If you use quality products and you want to use quality products and that's part of your thing, do it. Do it. But what I'm trying to stress here is you don't need it. You need effort. Until one day it just hit me and I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm using everything as a scapegoat to not paint. My figures aren't well painted. My drawings aren't well done. Blah, 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 blah. My canvas is not well primed. And on and on and on and on. By the way, I prime everything with acrylic gesso. Even for my oil paintings, because I don't know what I'm going to use my canvases. My canvases could be, this is a thick one. My canvases could be used for oil, for mixed media, for collage, for acrylic, for drawings, for whatever the hell I want. So I want to make sure that they're prepared. They're ready for me to jump. All right, so that's how I prime them. I just prime them with acrylic gesso. It works for oil too. I know some people are like, oh my God, no, only oil gesso for oil paintings. To you, I say, you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't painted enough. So there. I love that. Afnan says, really, the real artist doesn't need anything except talent. Yeah, it's like if you're a boxer. You're exactly right, my friend. It's like if you're a boxer and you're like, I need the real gloves. No, you don't. You need a good punch and you need practice. That's all you really need. You need talent, right? You need the practice. The practice breeds the talent. When we say, oh, that person's very talented, what we really mean is that person has bled their eyeballs out practicing. That's really what it means. Which is, we use the word talent for it, but you don't need anything. All you need is just you just want to do it. Do you want to do it or not? That's my message. Every time I'm creating artwork, my message to other artists is you just gotta want to do it. I don't know if I'm the only artist saying this kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't really look at much what other artists are doing, but last time I looked, most artists were just talking about art supplies and bullshit that you don't need. You know, how to stretch the canvas correctly, and all kinds of stuff that it's just like, really? Do you need that? I don't think you need that. Oh man, I changed it. Now you can see my pretty face. Look at this gorgeous face. I'm so glad I wasn't picking my nose. All right, guys, take care. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.